James Velco, and I'm with the John Marshall Law School in Chicago. I'm the Chief Technology Officer. I think we looked into putting digital signage in roughly about 3 years ago, and we had a problem with communication between the faculty and staff to the students. Email just wasn't cutting it. There was really no good way to interact with the students, to be able to get messages out to them in a timely manner. And digital signage actually was able to do that for us. And I think we started with about 15 screens, and now we have somewhere around 42. So it's grown. Our facility has grown too, but it's really, that's grown. That part of it, the hardware part has grown, but the content part also has grown. Now that people know that they can put messages up there, we have a lot. Our slide decks are really long. So the students at first were wondering why we spent all their tuition money on these new TVs, these flat screen TVs all over. But they didn't understand it at first. So after they kind of got a good understanding of what they were doing, they weren't just televisions, they were actually providing content to them that's relevant. They figured it out. And now, of course, like I said, we have way too much content at this point. So we have to turn people away. So it's actually worked out the way we wanted it to. I spoke this morning and I wrote an article in University Business about what I think is the future of digital signage, because and I was just talking to another person here that's on our board as well, and I truly think that digital signage is kind of like in this stage where it really is a tipping point. I think it has to make a move into something that it's not right now. And we can see it right now a little bit with the interactivity, and I think that's what I was talking about. With the iPad and the iPhone and everything, you have a lot of content that's easily available to people. So what is digital signage doing? You know what I'm saying? Is it providing anything unique? And I think that's the key, is to be able to provide unique content to the viewer, and doing that in an interactive way. That's what I think is key, and I think that's where it has to go in that direction, because it's just static screens. It's just a billboard on the side of the road at this point. So we've actually tied our we developed one screen, and we're scaling it to 3 more, where it ties into our databases, so people can actually touch the screen, pull up information that's personally relevant to them, and then they take their ID card, scan it over a card reader, so we call it a proximity card reader, and it sends them an email with that information. So it's very interactive. Yeah. No, I mean we spent some time with a company called MG Digital, they use flypaper, and they helped us develop it because there's nobody out there doing it. So it was something that we kind of decided it would be a really interesting thing to do. I was told by the dean of law school to do something really cool in this area, and I just let my imagination run, and that was one of the things that we did. He also told me at the same time is that the slide decks were too long. When he saw something he liked and it flashed, and he had to stand there for 5 minutes. And so if the dean's telling me he had to stand there for 5 minutes and he wants to get that information again, I had to come up with a way to do that. And with our touchscreen, we can actually allow people to kind of slide through the event slides and look at which whenever they want, and then get that information. So it's pretty neat. It's definitely interactive. Obviously, I think what we're looking at here is just people are trying to emulate maybe like the iPad, right? Because that is like the most interactive thing. My 2 sons, one's 18 months, the other one's 3 years old, and they know how to get to YouTube. They know how to get the video they want, and they know how to play it and turn it on and turn it off, and never turn the volume down. It always goes up for some reason. But I think what I'm seeing here is that people are trying to kind of get that same kind of touch and feel. And I think some of the stuff here I've seen is better than others in that regard. I know people are trying to integrate the Microsoft Connect player, which is kind of a gesturing. Can work. I could see it maybe working. There's a little there's a slight motion. It takes a little time for you to register. But I think if people are going to be using this in interacting with it, like it's going to be like an iPad, it has to have that fast response time. And I think NEC has a really nice one that goes. It's over on. It's a really nice, really quick reaction time, and they put it. It's a little thing above the video wall. It looks really good. That works really well. I was really impressed with that. My thought is, I think it evolves every year. You know what I mean? Every year there's different trends in the industry, and I think we have to respond to that. I think I've seen this is about the third year I've been out here. It seems like actually a different group of people out here, and I think regardless of the economic conditions, it seems that people are actually interested in doing it. So they're actually getting out here and looking at things, and not just people putting together the hardware and stuff. I mean, now it's people who have it and are trying to figure out hey, let's scale it, let's make it work better, let's do things of that nature. So I think that's what that's what we need to do. But this is definitely more of a focus, and I think that's probably maybe why we get those international people from all over, because it is just a real good focus on digital signage and how that application can work for each environment. And that's the other thing. Every environment's a little different. Some of it is that we grow them organically. Some of them we hire some younger, talented people from some of the universities around the area, which we're lucky. We have some really good talent pools like that, and we kind of grow them from the ground up. We give them a little bit of a background and a foundation, and then we kind of find out what their strengths and skills are, and we kind of push them in that direction and train them in those areas. And that served us well for a while. There are certain functions that we just don't have that time, because it does take it's a luxury to be able to do that, to actually grow people into certain roles. But looking for people who are ready at a certain level, it's difficult, because it's so hard to know what you're getting. It's like marrying somebody after 2 dates, and you don't know. That person's way different sometimes. Yeah, so it's not always the best. James Velco with John Marshall Law School. I'm at Digital Signage Expo. Sign up, sign on, and it's all here.